Now tell me honestly, if you're blessed with the power to be a most productive person in this whole world, what are the things that you want to accomplish? What are the things that you want to learn? The goals that you want to fulfill? There must be tons of lists that you would make, or probably there will be certain big goals. Yeah. So the reason I'm asking here is because I'm going to talk about one topic today, productivity. The reason it's because we all want to be more productive. We all want to utilize our time in the best way. We all want to um, achieve, and we all want to focus in our goals. And actually, I read lots of books and I watched lots of videos about productivity. And the things that I've learned so far is there is no single method rules for productivity. Just like how as a person we are different from one individual to another, because even though twins are very different, yeah, just think of productivity like a human beings. Somehow we are same, but we are totally different. So productivity is like that. Even though we try to follow all those rules and regulations and advices given by the highly successful people, but it might not work for us and it might not work for me too. And that's I have personally realized this. So the problem with all those self-help books and productivity methods, it's because it's kinda tells us to be more, and it creates more expectation for us to meet. And when we don't meet and when we can't do that, there's this feeling of guilty, like we also there's also this feeling of worthlessness for not being able to do what it was said there. And but yeah, I'm not telling you to not re- read those books and listen those advices. What I'm simply saying is that we can learn their methods, we can observe how they are doing it, but at the end of the day we need to experiment whether those things works for us or not. Okay, so yeah, actually I haven't been so perfectly productive till now, even though I'm trying so hard for more than 6 and 7 years. Yeah, it was when I started. Yeah, it was about 16 years old when I like wanted to be more productive and wanted to utilize my time more effectively. But yeah, I didn't watch much videos back then. I simply read few books. But I used to be so motivated, like yeah, some passion that I had at the time. But as I grew older, I realized that so many things are there, but the more you read, the more you listen, the more there is like kind of pressure builds up inside us from all those lessons, and it's kind of like it juggles up and we just cannot figure out what we should do. And at end what we do, we just skip everything, and at last we feel guilty and we are in the same loop. Everything continues. Yeah, you know what, the reason I'm making this video is because productivity is not the definition. Productivity means it's not like utilizing every second of yours and doing whatever. Everyone has its different definition of productivity. I just want to know what is your definition, and I want you to make your own definitions about productivity. So simply, there is only one method that I've found from like trying to be productive and watching so many videos about productivity and trying to follow their advices. Yeah, most of the time what I did is that I wanted to experiment, but you know what I did, I tried to experiment for 5 or 6 days, and what happens is that I cannot. Yeah, you may tell me that I'm just kind of lazy, dull, or whatever, but it just kind of drains me. The point where I stop completely everything is when I started drain. Yeah, and I have to say that I'm not productive. I'm not that much productive as a person, but there's still a goals that I want to fulfill. Of course, just like you and everyone else, I have a dream. I have a certain goals that I want to accomplish at least in this month, in this year. But what happens is that there's always this problem, and that is not being able to do it consistently. And the problem is that not I used to think that I'm not reading enough, I'm not collecting all the information that I should collect to fulfill all those goals and dreams that I've set for myself. But that was where the main problem lied. So instead of collecting all those information and trying to like feel that I have enough knowledge, the only simple thing, the only one very easiest thing that I had to do is take action. So in this whole productivity cycle, the only one method of productivity, true productivity, is taking action. Let me tell you again, it's taking action. No matter what, take actions. So if you don't take actions, it's like you have just give up on those things. So if there is certain things that you don't want to give up, the one thing that you have to make sure is whether you are taking action consistently or not. Consistency and action is the main part in productivity. What I have realized is that instead of like feeling guilty about those, we can simply observe, and we can learn about what works for me and what does not work for me, and whether I should like do that or not. It's kind of therapeutic to see the process of others. I just find it very amusing how they are doing it, and what are the things that does not work for them and what are the things that works for me. It's just like comparison. I do it, I just do it that, except that I do nothing. And so finally, after so many years, I don't know, I can simply say at least 3 to 4 years of, following all those trend of productivity and trying to be as much as productive as I can, but I haven't been able to. I have finally found one actually good routine for me, and I have realized and have found what works for me and what I should do and what I should not. And yeah, that's the main point. Being productive means just like it's like knowing your recipe and knowing yourself as a person. And lastly, the only advice that I can give for you, and that is take action and be consistent. That's the only one rule for productivity. Even though we read thousands of methods and rules, but if we don't implement, that's nothing. If we don't take action, it's just a waste of your time. And so, at last, I'm reading this book. It's not like I have totally stopped reading and watching those videos, but I have completely stopped watching productivity videos almost. If there is something that kind of interests me, I watch it, but most of the time I now don't watch it. And the videos I used to watch is from Ali Abdal. He's so great, actually. He's so great, and he's like amazing person. There is like Ruby Ohama, and she's also great, amazing. But I used to like love, and it was like their videos were inspiration for me back then. But it has been a long time. It has been like so long since I stopped watching them. It's not because their videos is not good and their content is not good. The reason is because yeah, they have made such an amazing contents, but I realized that it's not for me. And yeah, I just kind of had to filter out everything, and I'm now more into vlogs if you are interested. And okay, so I just wanted to talk, if you want to read any of productivity books, the only books that I can recommend for you is this right now. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm loving it. This book is Eat That Frog, about Brian Tracy, and it's almost the collection of all those methods that is described in so many different books. And here, what it simply means is that Eat That Frog. That means, okay, if you have a hardest and biggest task of the whole days, the first thing you gonna do in morning is do that task at first. Don't skip that. That's what this book says. Eat that frog means eat that live frog. That means, I know, just even the topic is so clear. That frog means that frog is so, it's so hard to eat a frog. I mean live frog, right? So this book is just saying to complete the most difficult task at first.